Hello and welcome to another podcast. I'm Fettouhi and let's talk games. Well, first I gotta apologize that I'm late on the podcast. It's normally Friday or Sunday I'm releasing, but I had some health issues that sadly delayed the podcast a bit. But I'm hoping that we can catch up on stuff now. Well, what is there out on news? Well, the biggest news, of course, is, or not the biggest news, the biggest slander talk is, of course, the new Apple's iPad, which is pretty much a big iPhone. Not impressed with it, and a lot of people, of course, are saying the same thing. It's too expensive. I think it's the 16 gigabyte is $450 or something. It's totally insane for something for such a little size and space. And when I saw a picture where Steve Jobs was introducing it at the conference, and when he held it up, it looked like he was holding up a big iPhone, and he was a small man or a midget holding that. So not impressed with it. I haven't seen it at all. Only read about it, and a lot of people are just not happy with it. It doesn't. All the expectation, all the hype that's getting, and a lot of people, all the podcasts I heard, is not impressed with it. So, pretty lame. Of course, of big releases, we have, of course, Mass Effect, which is pretty much. It's like almost where you go into every corner of the world. People are talking about Mass Effect. It's gotten great reviews. It's supposed to be a great game. I haven't played the first one. Action RPG, great story, made by BioWare, who is also making, of course, I'm sorry, I just lost track of course, what I was saying. Anyways, they're making, of course, the Star Wars: The Old Republic, which is the big MMO. And they made a couple other games, which I can't remember right now what BioWare also made. But those are two big franchises at the moment that they have going. Oh, they made the Dragon Age Origins also, which has great dialogue and all that. Actually, own that. I haven't played that much. Since we're talking about MMOs right now, I mention it. Of course, the other one I don't think it's released yet. I think it should have been released. There was a beta last week, but it hasn't been released yet. I think it's actually tomorrow. That's when it's opening the servers. Star Trek Online, and I talked a little bit about it last time, and I actually got into the beta at Sunday, and I actually played it, and it's actually pretty good. You start out, of course, you create your character, name it, first name, middle name, surname, and of course, you name your ship, and all that good stuff. And you start out hearing Leonard Nimoy, who's the guy who plays Spock in the old Spock in the new one, and Spock in the older movies. If you haven't seen them, only seen the new one. He tells you the story about the universe and what's happened to the whole system and all that. And what you start out as the first new barrier, or the introduction to the game. You start out as a normal recruit on the ship, and you're in a Borg battle, and they infiltrate a ship. You try to fend them off and stuff like that, and you get actually beamed over to a new other ship that's infiltrated, get the power back, take the ship back, and after that the first part is just like a normal MMO. You see it third person or from the first perspective, depending on how much you zoom in. You have your bar. It's pretty much just like World of Warcraft, but a different design of it, futuristic, of course, for the Star Trek universe. So you get beamed on board, and that's where you take control for the first time of your ship. And this is the new thing about it. The ship battles is where you, of course, have full control of the ship. Sorry about that, stupid phone. You take full control of the ship, and through that you can steer it like you steer a character, but but of course you don't run. So W, A, S, and D are just like angles positioning the ship. You can turn left, right, up, and down into space, and then you have Q and E to go from full stop to full impulse. And then of course you have your weapons. You have your for this for no, for the first thing you have of course you are lasers, and you have your photon torpedoes. And you can do different maneuvers, of course. And it's pretty simple. You target like just you would do in a normal MMO. Target your target, and then you just fire, and things does the rest pretty much. Um, the game is, from combat perspective, pretty simple. Any MMO, anyone who's played a bit of MMOs or of any kind can pretty much pick it up and play it. The problem comes when you're done with all that and you finish the mission and you get promoted to your captain, because this is the whole thing. You're not alone. Don't have to like bust your butt up from nothing to captain. You're a captain when you come out. So the experience of the Star Trek Online universe is from a captain's perspective, where you have your crew, your ship, and that's where the tricky part comes in, and that's where the thing is where I say it has a really long learning curve. Because there are so many things. Your character items are not like you have you have a shield, of course, but you have so many other things you switch around for, skills and stuff like that. And then, of course, you have your ship. And when you go out on missions on planets, you don't go alone, you go with a crew, just like in the movies, and you have your engineer, your science officer, and your tacticians officer, and these people also level up, and you have to equip them. So there's a lot of things to manage at one time, plus the ship itself, where you upgrade your photons, torpedoes, and all that. And of course, you have to upgrade yourself with a huge skill tree where you upgrade your skills. And this is not skills like, oh, I can get this skill here and bash people. No, this is a skill, for instance, you better diplomacy and stuff like that. And through that, you get bonuses and stuff like that. Plus, the ship has a lot of other tricky parts. The combat itself is easy, but when it comes to massive combat, this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about getting 1-on-1 on a big ship. No, you're getting 1-on-10 maybe, or 5-on-10, where you have AIs on your side and you have your opponents. And then you have your shields, front, back, left and right. You have to manage, and you can of course convert power to different parts of the ship. You can do it for damage, so you can get more damage to convert all the power to your lasers. And there's a lot of tactical stuff like with it, and I think they did a great job implementing everything, but keeping track of everything is just like a full-time job almost. But I really like, for instance, getting quests, which is of course done from Star Command. And when you finish quest, you actually just hail Star Command for communication through your screens. And then just you don't have to run to them. You can do it from anywhere. Just call up Star Command or whoever it is and tell them, well, I'm done. Give me my loot or whatever it is. That's really something. You don't have to run forth and back and forth. Sorry, from uh, from quest giver to go and getting trading into quest. It's a lot easier. But you have like a lot of quests also. Just I think just the first time I ran around doing having or collecting quests, I collect like 10 quests, and some of them I couldn't even do because my ship was like it wasn't upgraded. I was just still figuring out, and the beta got switched off on the 26th. 6 p.m. Central, so I didn't get a lot to play also because I had work. So there was a lot of things, but anyways, and also the other thing is it takes really long time. I played this game at least 20 hours, putting some time into it because I wanted to try the beta, and I only got to level 3. And normally, for instance, if you do World of Warcraft, the first 10 hours you can at least get up to level 10 or more easily. It's leveling is hard, and opponents don't give you much. It's the quest it's everything, and quests are hard to do because there are more. For instance, I took a quest, sounded simple, escorted an ambassador to his planet and to a city. Sounded easy. Okay, did that. When I came to the planet, of course, there was a blockade of Klingons and stuff like that. Blew them up, beamed down. The city was invaded, cleared off with my team and all that. When I came to the city, plot change. It looks like the ambassador was actually what you call it, a doppelganger. He could shift. So he wasn't like somebody, and he tried to kill a lot of people. I tried to stop him. Did that? He got away, and then it went back to he beamed up on a ship that was actually hiding in cloak, and I beamed up to my ship, and we had a battle there, and Starfleet came and helped me, and I won. But a lot of effort. At least it took me like 30 minutes or more to beat the simple quest. So. And I didn't feel like I got a lot of experience for it. And the loot was pretty crappy also. But it's got potential. I heard the gathering system and trading system is not going to be implemented from the start yet. That's what I read. But interesting game. Definitely, if you're a Trekkie fan, it's at least try it. If you can get your hands on a trial or something like that. The game has a lifetime subscription, yearly subscription, and monthly subscription. A lifetime subscription, you actually get to play the Borg also, and that's the only thing. I don't know if every character's or every race is actually available from the start. I heard something about the Klingons might not be available till later in the game. You actually have to unlock it or something. But I made a standard human because, well, I'm a big fan of the old ones. Actually, after the old ones got a bit boring, the old series and old movies, all the Generations and Deep Space Nine. Actually, Generations is my favorite. I like the character of the character Jean-Luc Picard. It's pretty great movies they did. But anyways. Enough about Star Trek Online. Let's see here. What else is there out there? I played. Of course, I bought Army of Two, and Army of Two: The 40th Day, the sequel to it. I haven't played the sequel yet. I want to play the first one first. And I'm gonna play it co-op fully with my brother, and I did. We played the first 2 levels, and it's actually really fun. It's actually a great game to play together. And it's hard. You really need to work together and figure out how to do every opponent and learn stuff. But it's actually pretty great. I don't know why a lot of people busted it on being so bad, but it's actually pretty good. I recommend it if you have a person, if it's online or split screen co-op like I'm doing, pick it up. It's actually really great. When I'm done with it, I'm gonna talk a little bit about it again in upcoming podcasts, and of course I'm gonna talk about the sequel, which came out like a couple of weeks ago. So definitely pick it up, and it's really cheap. I got it for like $5 or $6, and I got a good deal with the other one also. So check it out. Um. Oh. Some also while we're still on news, a woman lost 112 pounds through Wii Fit, using Wii Fit as a trainer. But of course, she didn't do that. Um, Only she, of course, dieted and stuff like that. But I'm impressed that she could keep it up, because Wii Fit, in my opinion, doesn't really. I don't have it. I think it's stupid to buy, because the problem is doing a Wii Fit is more like it doesn't really like. Why would I play this? Because you look stupid when doing stuff like that, and it's not meant for actually. It's not a yoga train. It's all that. It's a game, and it says so on the box when you buy Wii Fit. It's a game. It's not like a workout. But I'm impressed that you could keep it up constantly, having motivation for it, because it doesn't motivate you at all. Uh, it's just performing stuff like that, but it looks like it works if you, of course, mod it a bit with the right diet and stuff like that. But I'm impressed. She did it for a year, went from 252 pounds to 140 pounds in a year. That's incredible. Um, but big story and a good story for the Nintendo. But I still think they shouldn't. You should not buy this for fit for like, oh, I can lose weight. It takes more than that. That's what she did. She did more. She, of course, dieted and stuff like that. You can't expect to do the workouts and lose 112 pounds. It takes a lot of dedication, but at least she you can get at least a decent workout with it. It looks like, if you do some effort for it. But I'm impressed. Gotta say that. And for all you and like me Diablo fans out there, Diablo 3 is also a big talk. Nobody knows when it's coming out, and we all know Blizzard. They take their time, and they say earliest 2011. And I'd probably say, yeah, whatever. I'll believe it when I see it on the shelves. But new screenshots, which are looking great, incredible screenshots. The sceneries are looking really great. The flames and all that, looking awesome. I'm still a little bit disappointed the character development is not that. I hope you will be able to actually zoom in and stuff like that, like you are in, for instance, StarCraft 2. But we'll just have to wait and see what's actually. You can check out the pictures. I'll of course post a link with that. And some more news with a game that I'm actually a big interested in. It's a JRPG action shooter, or whatever you would call it. It's called The Resonance of Fate. I've been having an eye on this game for a long time. It looks like a Final Fantasy. It has the same style to it, but it's a shooter, and it's more like a live action. And Kotaku did a a little story about it, because you are able to see some underwear of the characters, which I pretty much find stupid. But anyways, the game is actually dated this year. I think actually is coming out in a month or so. Give me a sec. But the game is pretty much like I've seen some gameplay demo of it from a battle system. You run around with your characters in real-time action, and you lock onto targets, and you do incredible acrobatics with guns and stuff like that. And it looks actually pretty fun. So I'm definitely gonna pick this up and hoping for the best. It's coming out for Xbox 360 and PS3, and it's set for Europe March 2010. Same with Australia, and US it's third quarter. So US, sorry, you gotta wait a little bit for it. But Europe is gonna get it. But of course, since if you buy a PS3 version, you can import it, no problem, because they're region free. So do that if you want to. Let's see what's else out there. Oh, of course, we all know that Metal Gear Solid is coming soon, but we also know that The Rising was announced also on E3 at the Xbox 360 conference last E3, and it's gotten updated. The site that actually been made, they re-rendered Raiden, and not a lot of people noticed it. Actually, I didn't notice it, but I haven't been to the site in a long time. But instead of making him look a little bit zombie-like, he actually got recolored and from brown to blue eyes. Kotaku did a little story about that. No screenshots of the game, nothing. Still in development. Kojima is still fully in Peace Walker. And, well, it's coming out probably. We're probably gonna see maybe something next E3. I'm hoping so. And I'm hoping it's gonna be a good game. And probably gonna come out next year, probably. So interesting to see on that. But let's see, what else do we have? Predator, of course, is coming soon. No More Heroes actually came out last week. I don't know the sales of it. It's probably gotten overshadowed by Mass Effect 2. But it's actually what I've heard. I know Loco has been playing it. He got it, and it's really great. Sadly, what I heard from him, you know, it's you at the bottom of a rank of assassins, and you try to become to number one. And there's actually you start at the bottom 50 instead of 10 last time, in the first one, but you don't get to play through all 50. It jumps in story, so I was hoping for a really long game, but no. Same length, probably a little bit longer, and you don't get to do 50 boss battles, sorry. Sadly. So that's that's sad. It's not released for Europe or Australia yet. There is a rumor that the guys who've made the first one and the second one are gonna have press conference actually getting a release date for the second one for Europe and Australia next week, maybe, if I remember correctly, but no word about that. And some rumors about Final Fantasy 13 actually may be coming to PS2. There's been some screenshots of it, and it's actually still. I don't know if it's a rumor or I was just reading up here, and it looks like they actually started developing it for the PS2 first, and that's why the screens are. They found some screens of it, but you can read the article yourself. And I just stumbled on something because I'm an old gamer, I played games since 85, I think. 85, yeah. Ooh, long time. But I just stumbled on an old picture on Kotaku, actually an old developer called Psygnosis, which made some great games back in the day. And actually, this is a story about Sony eliminating half of Wipeout developers, sadly. And this is actually Psygnosis. I'm sad to hear that they're doing it. I don't know why. Wipeout HD, I did great. But well, people are cutting costs all over the place. I don't know why. But tough times are all around. But we'll have to survive anyhow. Well. It's a bit short, this one, but that's pretty much it for this week for me. I'm still sick. I'm actually on painkillers right now, and it's snowing over here, so it's not. This is gonna be a short podcast, really short one, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for listening, and you can of course contact me through email, let's talk games at fettouhi.dk, Twitter at twitter.com/fettouhi, or comment on thespeakgamers.com under the blog post that I'm making. And please comment. More comments for the show means more debate and more fun angles onto the podcast. And of course, you can contact me through the TSG forums, or just go to my website, fettouhi.dk, and comment, email, or whatever for there. So, thanks for listening again. Bye.